Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel RJK Tutorials. So today I'm going to cover one of the measures of central tendency, that is mode. So as you know that the measure of central tendency consists of three types of measures. One is mean, median and mode. So today I'm going to do a presentation on the mode. Now mode is oftenly said to be that value in a series which occurs most frequently. That is, mode is nothing but the value or the number present in the series which is going to appear or frequently is represented, or which has greatest frequency. So any number which has the greatest frequency can be taken as a mode, but it is not exactly the true for every frequency distribution. Rather, it is that value around which the items tend to concentrate more heavily. Now always it may not be true that the highest a mode. So sometimes if the highest repeated number is similar, then you can have two modes or three modes. So in such cases we have to use different methods to find out mode. So mode, in other words, we can conclude that as a value around which the items in the series tend to concentrate most heavily. So that is what basically is mode. Now for example, if you take the following problem, find the mode of the series 8, 9, 11, 15, 16, 12, 15, 3, 7 and 15. You can see that 15 is repeated twice. So out of this 10 observation in the series, wherein the figure 15 occurs maximum number of times, that is three times it is appearing. So therefore the mode can be concentrated as a mode can be taken as a 15. So there can be three types of mode: unimodal data, bimodal data, or multimodal data. In unimodal data, the series of numbers is known to be unimodal if it has only one mode. That means in a given problem, if there is only one mode, then we can see it as unimodal data. So for example, in this chart, you can see the 5 is repeated many times. So 5 is repeated three times. So therefore, mode can be taken as 5 here. So in case of bimodal data, a series of number is known to be bimodal if it has two modes. That means two numbers is getting highest frequency, then it becomes bimodal data or bimodal values. Now here it has two modes. One is 105 and 109, because 105 and 109 is repeated quite oftenly. So therefore we can see it as two modes. And you can see in the graph, these two modes are plotted here to be having the highest, what to say, as the frequency. Then we have what is called as the multimodal problems or multimodal data. A series of number is known to be multimodal if it has more than two modes. So in this problem, we have 105, 109, 115. So all these three numbers have highest frequencies. And you can see this graphs represents the highest frequency. Therefore, it is a multimodal data. So the mode is already been defined in the previous slides. I'm just going to brief out this one. So the value of the variable which occurs more frequently in the distribution can be referred as mode. And the calculation of mode in the individual series, as I explained earlier, depends upon the frequency. So you have to take values in one side and the frequency on the other side. So by knowing the count of these values, we'll get the frequencies. So by seeing the frequency, we can say which number is going to be mode here. Now here values 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. 10 is repeated 5 times, therefore, so we can say that 10 has the highest frequency 5, so therefore 10 can be taken as a mode here. So in case of discrete series, so as you know, the discrete series is nothing but it's a type of a problem where you have two columns x and f. So x representing the value, f representing the repetition or the frequency. So in case of discrete series, quite often the mode can be determined by closely looking at the data. Now here you have the data pertaining to the quantity of glucose in blood of 25 students. Okay, so you have 25 data here. So first of all, we have to arrange data in according to an ascending order to find out the frequencies. So after putting this data in ascending order, so we can see that these data are repeated several times. For example, 97, 101, 103, 106, 95 is repeated 2 times, whereas 93 is repeated 3 times. So since we see that value 93 is repeated more often, and therefore we can take mode of this data is 93. So similarly, we can take the other examples. So the ages of 6 persons who participate in interview were 20, 21, 21, 24, 25, 24, 21, and 27. Find the mode of the data. So by seeing this repetition, we can say the mode is 21. Yeah. Similarly, other problem, Mr. Vijay Kumar, a physical education teacher of the school, is trying to determine the average height of the students in the cricket team of the school. The height of the players in inches are 70, 72, 72, 74, 74, 74, 75, 76, 76, 76, and 77. So find out the mode of the height. So here the data has two values, 74 and 76, which appears 3 times. So all other values appear less than 3 times. So the data we can say we have two distinct mode, that is 74 and 76. So this is one more problem where we have the size and the number of shirts sold. So following distribution shows the size of shirts sold on a textile shop in Bangalore on a month. Calculate the mode. So size in inches is X. The number of shirts sold is F. So based on this, we can see this. So the frequency of 40 is 31. So highest frequency is 31. So therefore, mode can be taken as 40. But always we cannot take the mode value based upon the highest frequency. So there is a method of finding whether the highest frequency number is a mode or not. So suppose in case of bimodal, trimodal, so finding mode becomes difficult. In such cases, we go for what is known as grouping and analysis method. So this is a method very widely used for discrete as well as the continuous series. So in this grouping method, it is a method of calculating mode in cases where more than one value has the highest frequency and becomes impossible to find mode. So grouping method involves preparation of two tables. One is grouping table and analysis table. So here are the steps to prepare the grouping table. So first of all, these are the 6 different steps that you have to follow in the grouping table. So what are the steps? First of all, take the frequencies in the first column. Then add the frequencies in twos in the second column. In third column, add frequencies in twos after leaving the first frequency. The fourth step involves adding frequencies in three. In the next step, leave the first frequency and add the rest in threes. In the fifth column, in the last step of preparing the grouping table, add the frequencies in threes after leaving the first two frequencies. So I'm going to explain this method with help of a problem. So let us take this particular problem, find the mode of the following series. Now here we have X as size, frequencies are given here. By seeing this, we can see that the 13 is the highest repeated frequency, the mode can be 70, but it can be confirmed exactly by using grouping and analysis table. So let us apply this particular method. So what is the first thing? First of all, take all the frequencies in the first column. So first column, you have to take the frequencies and you can see that. So we have taken the frequencies here. So next what we have to do, we have to add the frequencies in twos in the second column. So we have to take a two frequency at a time and we have to add it. So we have to add 3 and 5, 3 and 1, 2 and 5, 13 and 9, like that we have to add. So this is what you're getting in the second column. In third column, add frequencies in twos after leaving the first frequency. So leaving the first frequency, you have to add frequencies in twos. So that is leave 3. Now you have to add 5 and 3, 1 and 2, then 5 and 13, and 9 and 2. That is what you're getting in the third column. So second column is over, first column is over, second column is over. Then third column is also over. Now fourth column involves step adding frequencies in threes. So this time we have to add frequencies in threes. So we have to take three at a time. So 3, 5, and 3, that becomes 11. 1, 2, and 5, that becomes 8. 13, 9, and 2 becomes 24. So that is how you get the fourth column. Then fifth one, in the next step, leave the first frequency and add the rest in 3 in fifth column. So leaving first one, you have to add 3 at a time. So leaving 3, 5, 8, 1, 5, 3, 1, that becomes 9. So first frequency you have to leave. Now you have to add frequencies in threes. 5, 3, 1, 2, 5, 13, that becomes 20. So that is how you get the fifth column. So what is the sixth column? In the last step of preparing grouping table, add frequencies in threes after leaving the first two frequencies. So first two frequencies you have to leave, and then you have to add frequencies in threes. That is 3 and 5 we have to leave. Then we have to add in 3. 3, 1, and 2, that becomes 6. 5, 13, and 9 becomes 27. So like this, we will get the last column. So there are 6 columns here in the grouping table. So next we'll take into the analysis table. So first of all, note down the highest totals in every column. After that, note down the variable or variables in every column that corresponds to total. In third step, check if the total of the previous step is of one item or term, or more than one item or term. If the total in the second step is more often than one term, make the observation with help of a tick or X mark. Now, based upon the count of the X or tick mark in each column, we have to make a note, and the number which is having the maximum number of this tick marks or X mark can be taken as a mode here. So what is the meaning of this one is, so now we already done this thing here. Now suppose if I take the first column, the highest repeated number is 13, so that corresponds to 70. So in the analysis table, once again we have to make 6 columns. Okay, then we have to tick the number 70, because the first column has the highest number as 13. So in the first column against 70, we have to tick here. So that is what we are seeing here. First column. So here columns are taken horizontally, and the size of the item taken as vertically. So in the first column, 70 as a tick. Now next one is 22. So 22 we have to tick it, but 22 is got because of adding 13 and 9. So therefore 70 and 80 we have to tick the number here. So you can see here in the second column 70 and 80 is been ticked here. That means we are telling that this particular column's second is because of these two numbers 70 and 80. So we are getting the highest repeated number because of 70 and 80. So like that we have to keep ticking the 18, 24, 20, and 27. So you'll be getting this number of ticks here. So third column 60, 70, fourth column 70, 80, 90, and fifth column will be ticked under 50, 60, and 70, and sixth column 60, 70, and 80 is being ticked. Now column wise we have to add this total. So 50 has got 1 mark, 60 has got 3 marks, 70 has got 6 marks, 80 has got 3 marks, 90 has got 1 mark. So therefore we can say, since 70 has got maximum number of marks, mode can be considered as 70. So this is the most appropriate and very valid method of finding the mode here. So next one is finding mode in continuous series. So for that we have what is called as the modal formula. So modal formula is given as m0 is equal to L plus of f1 minus f0 divided by F2 F1 minus F0 minus F2 into I. So here three types of frequencies are taken. So first one is F1, the frequency of model class. F0 is the frequency of the class preceding the model class. F2 is the frequency of the class succeeding the model class. So preceding the current one and the succeeding. So three frequencies we have to take here. So I is taken as the width of the class interval. So L is the lower limit of the model class interval. So we can use the formula here. Now this is the problem. Here inclusive series is given here. So what you mean by inclusive series is if you take the class interval, the continuity of the class interval will not be there. So 93 to 97, the second class interval is starting at 98. So there is a missing of one number and ends at 102. Then the third one starts with 103. So this missing of one number is called as inclusive series. Now you have to convert that into exclusive series. So that number, the difference is 1 year. That is the difference between the next lower limit to the previous upper limit is 1. So whenever there is a difference of 1, we have to add and subtract zero point 0.5. So zero point 0.5 should be subtracted to the lower limit of every class interval and zero point 0.5 should be added to the upper limit of every class interval. So the first class interval will be 92.5 to 97.5, then 97.5 to 102.5, so 102.5 to 107.5. So like that it goes on. So based on this, we have to extract three frequencies F1, F0, and F2. So here the highest repeated frequency you can see is 14 here. So 14 is taken as the not the 14. I'm sorry, it is 17 here. So 12, 17, and 14. So here we have to extract these frequencies. So 17 being the highest repeated frequency. So therefore F1, the current frequency which is repeated highest number of times or more number of times can be taken as F1. So here F1 is taken as 17, F0 is taken as 12, and F2 is taken as 14. So F0 is preceding, F1 is the current, F2 is succeeding. So succeeding F2 is 14, preceding is F0 12, the current one F1 is 17. So by substituting this and finding the width of the class interval. So what is the width here? So width is 5 year. So any class interval if you take, the width is coming to 5 year. So putting that into this modal formula, you can see that the mode is 110.63. 110.63 is the mode value for this continuous series problem. So this is how we have to use the modal uh, formula. So modal formula is basically based on three frequencies. One is the preceding, the current modal frequency, and the succeeding one. So F0, F1, and F2 we have to take here. So once again you can see here. So we have the F1 is 72, F0 is 36, and F2 is 51. The width of the class interval is 7. So by putting all these things, we'll be getting a mode as 25.103 for this particular problem. So there is another problem. We can find out mode here. The highest repeated frequency is 41, that is F1. Preceding is 30, succeeding is 35. So put this into the formula, you'll be getting mode as 36. Now here we take a different type of problem. So we have a problem where income in rupees is given. The bracket is written as above values and number of persons are given here. So number of persons are frequency here. So the frequency what is given here is actually the cumulative frequency. So cumulative frequency you cannot take in the modal formula. So first you have to convert that into normal frequency. So how do you convert that into normal frequency? The previous frequency you have to subtract to the next frequency. So in doing so, you'll be getting the normal frequency here. For example, 80 minus 62 is 18, 62 minus 33 is 29, then 33 minus 16 will be 17. Then if I take the 16, then you have to take the next one. So 16 minus 8 is 8, 8 minus 4 is 4, and 4 minus 2 is 2, and 2 minus 0 is 2. So the current frequencies for this particular problem is 18, 29, 17, 8, 4, 2, and 2. So here the frequencies what you see is actually called as cumulative frequency. So it is called decreasing cumulative frequency. So the decreasing means it is decreasing from 80 to 1. So this sort of decreasing cumulative frequency, you have to keep on subtracting. So the next number should be subtracted to the previous number. So 80 minus 62, 62 minus 33, 33 minus 16, 16 minus 8, 8 minus 4, 4 minus 2, 2 minus 0. So like that we can calculate. We'll be getting a number of 80. So by using the modal formula, we can take the F1, F2, and F0 values. So F1 is 29, which is the highest repeated frequency number. The previous one is F0, that is 18. The succeeding is 17. So putting this into the formula, Z is going to be 1739.13. So once again, it is a inclusive method. So inclusive method, you have to convert it into exclusive things. So exclusive things, we have to subtract and add 0.5. So as I explained earlier, so these sort of problems is actually called inclusive. Class interval problems. So inclusive class intervals should be converted into exclusive. So only then you can apply the modal formula, because in continuous series there should be a continuity of class interval, and you can see that after converting from inclusive to exclusive there is a definitely a continuity of the numbers in the class interval. So the final answer for this one will be 25.36. Then there is one more formula which is called as the Carl-Pearson empirical formula. Suppose if you have a median value and a mean value, you can find out the interrelationship between the mean and the median. Based upon that, we can find out the mode. So according to the empirical relationship, mode is given by 3 times the median minus 2 mean. And we assume that the mean is less than the median is less than the mode. So this is based upon the method estimated by Carl Pearson. So the importance of this relationship is that we estimate the value of any one of them by knowing the values of the other two. That means if you know any two values, the third one you can find out. However, this relation is true if the distribution is moderately asymmetric. So in asymmetric curve, what happens? The area of the left of the mode is greater than the area of the right side. That means the mean will be less than the median will be less than the mode. So this is the relationship will be establishing to find out the mode here. Now this is based upon the normal distribution curve. Now suppose if I take a problem, if Z is equal to 400, the mean is equal to 300, we can find out the median. So we know that 3 times the median minus 2 mean is equal to mode. So mode is 400 is equal to 3m minus 2 into 300, or m becomes 333.3. Similarly, for the given data, mean is equal to 39.23, median is 36.67. Find the mode. So just exact substitution. So 3 into median is 3 into 36.67 minus 2 into 39.23. That comes to 31.55. That is how we find out the mode here. So this is once again the repetition of similar type of problems, and you can see the first problem will be getting mode as 35. In the second problem, we have to estimate the mean, which will be 40.59. So you have to just substitute these values in the formula. So what is the formula? Mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. So this is called empirical formula of mode. So there is one final method of locating the mode, that is by using the histogram. So histogram is a type of a bar graph where the bars are plotted without any spaces in between the bars. So you can see these, all the bars are clustered together without any space. So such type of bar graph is called as the histogram. So draw a histogram of the given data, locate the modal class highest bar of the histogram, join diagonally the upper end points of the highest bar to the end points of the adjacent bar. Make the point of intersection of the diagonals. Draw a perpendicular line from this point of intersection to the x-axis. The point where the perpendicular meets the x-axis gives the modal value. So very simple thing. So you have to take the class interval on the x-axis, frequencies on the y-axis. So to these frequencies, you have to draw the bar. For example, 0 to 10, we have 12. So you can see it is 12 here. Then 10 to 20, we have 18 here. So that is how you are drawing here. Then 20 to 30, we have 27. Then 30 to 40, we have 20. 40 to, I'm sorry, 0 to 10 is 12. 10 to 20 is 18. 20 to 30 is 27. Then 30 to 40 is 20. Then 40 to 50 is 17. I think 50 to 60 is missing here. That will be 6 here. So that 6 means it will be somewhere here. So that will be 50 to 60. Now what you have to do is you have to take the highest length of the bar. So which is the highest length of the bar for which class interval you have? That is for 27. So 27 is the highest number that corresponds to the class interval 20 to 30. So 20 to 30. So we have to mark these upper left and upper right points here. So diagonally we have to draw dotted lines or straight lines you can draw here, and it is going to intersect with the adjacent bars here. So in the intersection point we have to draw a dotted line or a straight line. It's going to intersect here. So if you take this distance between here to here, so this is we're going to tell you what is the modal value. So in this problem the modal value is coming to 25.6. So this is how we locate the mode by histogram method. So once again, we have a problem here, but this is inclusive series. Once again, you have to convert into exclusive series. So how do you convert exclusive series? Add and subtract 0.5. So lower limit 0.5 subtraction, upper limit 0.5 addition. So by drawing this graph, you can see that what 39.5 to 49.5 as the 30. Then the previous one is 18. The next one is 16. Okay. So we have to mark these points, highest repeated bar. So diagonally we have to connect these numbers. Then at the intersection point we have to plot this number. So the distance between year to year, it comes to uh, the modal value. So what is the modal value from year? That is 0 to, so if I take this distance 0 to here, so that comes to 44.12. So this distance you have to measure by scale. So that is how we calculate the mode by histogram method. So here this is a problem where individual numbers are given, which is grouped together to get the class interval. So it is given here from the group data table by dividing the variate range into intervals of equal width, each corresponding to 20 grams, in such a way that the middle value of the first class interval correspond to 70. That means if I take each of these value, if I get the middle point as 70, that criteria should be taken for constructing the class interval. So I'm going to group this as 60 to 80, 80 to 100, 100 to 120. Suppose if I take 60 to 80, so what will be 60 to 80? So 60 to 80 consists of 20 numbers. Okay. So if I take the midpoint of 60 and 80, so 60 plus 80 divided by 2, so I'll be getting the 70 as the midpoint. So that is one criteria we have to keep in mind. So the midpoint of this value should be 70 and the width should be 20. So such numbers we have to take here. So these numbers will be 60 to 80, 80 to 100. So why we are taking 60? Because 60 is the least repeated number here. Highest repeated number can be taken up to 220. So within this range, we have to calculate the frequencies. So based upon this data, We can plot the graph and we can estimate the mode by histogram method. So what are the properties of mode? It is used when you want to find the value which occurs most often. It is a quick approximation of the average. It can be done by inspection method. Just by finding the highest frequency, you can tell what is the model value. It is most unreliable among the three measures of central tendency because it is or its value is undefined in certain observation. Just by observation method, many times finding mode becomes difficult. So therefore, in such cases, either we have to use grouping analysis method, or we have to use the model formula, or we have to use the empirical formula. So merit submode is readily comprehensible and easy to calculate, and it is not affected by extreme values and can be conveniently located even if the frequency distribution has a class intervals of unequal magnitude, provided the modal class and the classes preceding succeeding it are of the same magnitude. So mode is ill-defined, not always possible to find clearly defined mode. It is not based upon all the observations and it is not amenable to further mathematical treatment. So compared with mean, mode is affected to great extent by fluctuations of sampling. That means if the repetition of numbers in samples are more, then this fluctuation leads to sometimes creation of multiple modal formulas or multiple modal not formulas, I'm sorry, modal values. So when data series contains two, three or many modes, it is very difficult to interpret and compare. If the repetition of frequencies are similar, then you will be getting two modes, three modes and multiple modes. Then which is the actual mode, it's very difficult to tell. So what are the uses of mode? So mode is very useful for qualitative data. So I hope that you understood the concepts of mode. So in this presentation, you came to know about what is mode, what is unimodal, bimodal, trimodal, how to find out mode by inspection method in individual series or discrete series. So what is grouping table, analysis table, what is empirical formula given by Carl Pearson method, that is mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. Then also you came to know about using the modal formula based upon the three types of frequencies, that is the preceding, current and the succeeding frequencies. So this is how mode is calculated. And finally, we also seen how to calculate mode by using the histogram method. So thank you very much and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel.